So, following the traumatic events of me trying to install my own car charger, if you haven't checked that video out, you should see it before you watch this one. But just as a reminder, I tried to lay down about 20 meters of 3-phase power cable underneath paving stones. It was bad. And during the process, I literally broke a pickaxe while using it. And it happened 20-30 minutes into the job. It ended up taking 10 hours. So I've got a strong urge to eternalize this event, or create a reminder that will sit in my room, probably on my wall, to forever remind me of what I felt that day. Now, this reminder is not to prevent me from doing stuff like this in the future. On the contrary, I want to carry on doing stuff like this in the future, but I just want to be more prepared. So I've got a good idea of what I'm going to do, and I'm going to start by creating a mock-up for the piece of wood that was the handle. And the reason is because I didn't think of this project beforehand, and I threw away the piece of wood. It's not going to be as good, but it's going to have the same kind of break where it was, and it will probably be smaller because I don't want this monument to be too big. I just want it to be something that I can hang on my wall. Let's get into it. So this part is like the part that goes into the handle and gets stuck in. I mean, if this piece was thicker, it would, what you usually do is you put it in from here and then it just gets stuck at some stage. But to make it look like a handle, I'm also going to drill a hole in it, because they always have these holes that you can hang them on the wall. I don't remember if the original stake did. Yeah, I guess that looks more or less like a handle. Now I need to break it. Now breaking it will be tricky. I want it to break in a specific way. I don't just want to break it. So I'm going to make a cut at a kind of intersection and hope it breaks. Like you'd cut down a tree, so you give it like the correct direction. In the end, you always see trees falling on houses and other people.
Oh, watch out. Here it goes. And it's going the wrong way. Oh my gosh.
So I don't know how good it actually works, but let's give it a try. For the frame, I have this old, it's not old, built a few months ago. It's a used stage for an IKEA child chair, and it brought my kid, my number 4, to the same height. And we don't need it anymore because he's refusing to sit in the chair, the high chair, anymore. He's a big boy. Keeps saying, I'm big, I'm big. He wants to be big, and he knows the little kids sit on the high chairs, so he doesn't sit on a high chair anymore. So I'm going to be building a frame from 2x2s. I want the frame corners to be 45 degrees. I've got a new tool to show you. It's just like classic to use it for this. So let's do an unboxing. Bought myself a mitre saw. So the company is called Spatz. It's a German company. Not necessarily the highest quality one. Look at the size of that blade. But I mean, the price was really good. I mean, if you want to get a DeWalt mitre saw, which is my favorite go-to for any tool, it's about 3 times as much, or at least 2 times as much. Near future, I'm not going to be using it day and night. I'm not a carpenter by any stretch. Wow, it's massive. Woo! I've never used one of these before, but don't worry. So the table's a bit wobbly, so I'm going to do it on the floor. I've never made such perfect cuts in my life. So it's kind of started out pretty good. Gave it a great first impression. I've made the first hole, and I now want to make sure I position it in the perfect place. So what you do is take a piece of this and you mark it. Was the other one? Shit. What a bad way. Okay, the dowel pins aren't working. I'm gonna do it different way. Hopefully it'll work. I'm just gonna use wood glue and clamp it down as best as I can. I'm going to try and do something that I've never seen done before. What this nylon does is every round you make, it makes it just a little bit tighter. Compounds and gets very tight, very at least. Make sure you don't go anywhere with the four corners. At the end of the day, you need the pieces to stick together until it dries. Doesn't matter how you stick it together. You can use bubble gum. Came out really refurbished. Yeah. So now I can paint it, and I can also paint the backboard. They're going to be different colours. Let's get to it. Pavement slabs. Screws are bulging out, and this is going to be taking the frame away from the wall anyway, so I'm going to take the screws out and use this special bit that kind of like makes a conic hole for the screw to sit in. So what we have here is a reminder of that day, but more important, a reminder that when you go into something head on, you need to be prepared. And thinking about how naive I was that morning brought me back every single time to this sentence: how hard can it be? And the answer to that question is very hard. So we have the pickaxe that I broke. We've got the stick that's not the real stick, but it's a good imitation of the stick. We've got the actual bricks that represent how hard it was basically what made it so hard, lifting the bricks. They are more or less in the same layout that they were that day. We have the communication opening, and we have the green wire that goes around, which is basically the 3-phase power cable. So yeah, just the exhibition of an extremely hard day. Just to remind myself not to not do stuff, but to do it after thinking what you should be doing and what not.